Hey everybody, today we're going to be reviewing the Pilot G2 0.38. This is a very fine tip, basic retractable pen, and I kind of find it interesting. So let's get into the review. This is the Pilot G2 0.38. And this is a new pen to me. I've used different variations of this sort of pen from Pilot. The thing that caught my eye was the 0.38 millimeter tip on this ballpoint pen. And it's just it's interesting in terms of its size and its writing capabilities. So the thing that is interesting to me is the 0.38 millimeter ultra fine sort of writing experience that this has. My first impressions when writing with it were, wow, this is really great and fluid, and the line weight is even smaller than a 0.5. But when you get to, I write at a 45 typically, and when you get to, say you're somebody that writes at a 30 or 25, or even, somebody that writes like really flat, you can't use this pen, and it really is a function of the tip on this pen. I don't even know if I can get this to zoom in. You probably can't even tell because it's so tiny, but if you write at a 45, it is good, and it is very fine, and it is actually surprisingly pretty smooth. I'm not gonna lie about that, but it does drag a little bit because of the fineness of the pen tip, but overall the writing experience is pretty good except for those lower angles. The design of this pen is pretty standard for something in this sort of price range and class. It has a standard screw here in the middle, which is my preferred area for a screw on a pen, and the thing I like about that is this one is the spring doesn't really come out too easily. I guess you could, really pound on the table and get it out, or you could get a pair of tweezers or very small pliers and get it out. I kind of like that things stay put with this one. The retractability mechanism on this seems very well built, especially for something not as expensive as definitely other retractable pens on the market. And the other thing is, like, if you really like this pen and you don't want to buy more shells of them, which is fine, you can get refills of this, and you can tell by the size and everything, this is really meant to be just popped in and screw this on, back on, and then you're ready to go. In terms of uses for this pen, you could really use this for anything except maybe drawing and things like that, where you need different angles of approach with your pen. I'm an engineer, so this is something that we use, especially with having a fine tip like that. It comes in handy in certain scenarios. Especially if you're trying to write comments on, say, some construction plans or something like that, and you really need that thin line weight to get in between some of the content on the page. But overall, I think you could use this pretty much anywhere. I don't know if it'd be enjoyable to write long-term with it, in terms of if you're writing in a journal or something like that. I think you might want to bump it up to a 0.5 millimeter option. But otherwise, I think you could pretty much use it in most standard scenarios, especially in the office environment. So this pen, I think you would have a little bit more difficulty given the size and everything with the 0.38 millimeters. I think you would have to find this either on the internet or at a local store, stationery type store or something like that. You could probably get it at a Office Depot or some other office supply store. But on the internet, you can get a dozen of these for about 15-20 bucks. So it's a little bit more pricier than other pens in its class, but I think that's really because it's geared towards different audience with the finer tip. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please hit the like button and feel free to comment and also subscribe for more content. Thanks.